Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV time, where we talk about what's happening in the world of club rugby. Oh, it's a big show for you tonight, but of course before we get the ball rolling, let me first just say a big thank you of course to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. You can win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show. Make sure that you stick around then for our Spot the Ball competition. Also Thorburn Security Solutions, of course your one-stop shop for sporting events and security solutions and logistics and making sure that you have got a good sporting event on the cards. And of course MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of Durban Road and N1. Before we get the ball rolling, Jerome Parvar, welcome back.
Yeah, JP, okay, good to be back again, and hope the weather is starting to change because it's pretty cold, but I mean it's rugby weather and it seems like the guys are enjoying it out there on Saturdays.
It is still a little bit chilly out there. Faisal Felton, welcome back.
Hi, good evening, JP. Good evening, listeners. As always, good to be back.
Yep, I'm glad to see you. We're now consistent. Every Wednesday, we've got the two of you on the show with us. This is great stuff. Folks, we got some big games for you tonight, and we are heading into the tail end of things, so to speak. Hands and Hearts up against Belhar. We'll take a look at the first half and second half highlights. We also have a couple of interviews for you there. All Saints were up against Helderberg. Brackenfell was up against UWC, UCT and Durbell, False Bay and Hamilton's. So about 6 or 7 games for you to look at tonight. And of course, big thanks to all the clubs that have sent their games to us. It's a great way for us to give exposure to the clubs out there because we've got, of course, can only get out to so many games. But Faisal, I mean, when we talk about games, you're talking about, I saw last week you had more than 80 fixtures on the weekend. There's a lot of games.
Yeah. I think it's like over 100 fixtures. Looking at, we've got ladies playing as well. We've got the reserve league that's also happening, besides the normal fixtures. As you can see, it is a bit of a challenge when it comes to referees, but we seem to, fulfill that obligation every week.
So we obviously can't get cameras out to 80 different games. So it's great that the clubs are sending us their footage.
No, definitely. I think that's something that we've always wanted. We always want to encourage. And I think the clubs, again, they must take that opportunity. I think we've got the platform that we've created at Cape Rugby, so we must use it.
Yeah, no. Well, let's get the ball rolling, Jerome.
Is that one of the reasons, Faisal, why you guys imported the referees from America now?
Right, folks, so let's get the ball rolling. Yeah, our very first game then on the cards. We're going to get started. Hands and Hearts were up against Belhar this weekend. Super League B. We said last week that this was going to be a big game. And we knew that this was one of the games that we actually had to feature both these teams on the top of the log in Super League B. Let's take a look at the first half. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, welcome back, everybody. So, going into the halftime then, hands on hearts, 15, Belhar 15. Jerome, let's bring your sense of expertise into the game here. 15 all at halftime, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a true reflection of the first half, JP.
Yeah.
Great rugby by both sides, and I mean, hands and hearts, first few seconds from the kickoff score, and then just keep the scoreboard rolling, but then Belhar fight back, score. And I must say, it's not just playing to score. You can see some great first phase plays from Henson Hart's strike plays, where you can actually see they execute it and how they draw the defender in and how they score and how they play. Great play. And the same with Belhar, quite physical, running straight and direct, and then play the ball wide. So a good first half, a good rugby, good handling. It's almost like a perfect first half.
So, Faisal, from your side, 15 all year. I mean, we spoke about this last week. We didn't quite say it was a derby, but for Super League B, this is top of the table clash.
No, definitely. I think it's a very big match. I think from both sides in that there, it's a nice opportunity. If you look at the crowd, as spectators, and then, like Jerome says, I think it was a great spectacle for club rugby. First half to be 15 all is fantastic. I think very evenly matched. I think it's always to be expected. Looking at the log as well, it's anyone, any given day, any team can win.
Well, we've still got the second half to cover. Have you, looking at this game, any of you guys got any idea of who might go on top? Is it that equal, Jerome?
I think it
50-50 at the moment?
I think if the score can be equal, because both teams.
That's what you want to see.
That's actually how you want to see.
Faisal, your thoughts as well?
No, definitely. I think, yeah, if you look, like Jerome says, looking at the score and looking at the game and that, hopefully the second half is as entertaining.
Another draw.
I think it's going to be close. I don't know about a draw, but I think it's going to be very close. I think possibly within 7 points, maybe. In that
Okay.
I think it's great running rugby more than anything else.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic. And fantastic to see the crowd. I mean, Hans always pulls a good crowd. In fact, all our clubs pull a good crowd.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, again, looking at the crowd, looking at the spectators, it's nice to come back, like I said, from COVID and, as if everything's back to normal. And it's fantastic for us to see that things are, back to normal, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think it's great. Aikendale packed. All right, Hands and Hearts and Belhar currently leading 15 all in the first half. We'll take a look at the second half, and we'll bring you some interviews as well from the side of the field in a second. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. Right, so before the break, we were taking a look at the first half between Hands and Hearts and Belhar. Jerome, you're going on a 50-50, yeah?
I hope so.
I'm not saying 50 points and 50 points. Okay, we're saying 50 percentage-wise. You're hoping so. All right, let's take a look then. Second half, Hands and Hearts up against Belhar in Super League B. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, welcome. There we go, folks. So, final result then. Hands and Hearts beating Belhar 22 points to 18. Faisal, you asked for you kind of said within 7 points. It looks like you were on track.
I think looking at the game, it pretty much could have gone either way. I think to get a win on the day, I think Hands and Hearts must be happy for that. They pulled it off. I think it's going to be interesting now the next couple of weeks. Looking at the logs, I think these two teams might meet each other again, so it's going to be interesting.
Oh, right, that's a good point. Yeah, Jerome, let's bring your rugby expertise in the picture. You got to see there, score wasn't 50-50, but
it was close.
The match was pretty much great. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the second half, it just continued with the type of rugby that they played. I mean, one good thing about both teams, they never stop. It's not like they both want to win, but they didn't start to kick for territory and kick and hope. They keep on playing, and that was good. So the second half just continued like the first half. Unfortunately for Belhar, that they must be a winner and think so. But Belhar came back well. I think they set pieces were better than Hands and Hearts. They scrum well. The concern for Belhar is going further is they must work on their defense a bit more. They can't just attack.
Folks, we managed to catch up with Belhar's coach Regan Peterson. Of course, Tando Mayakiso is of course captain of Belhar. Peter Lenz is head coach at Hands and Hearts, and of course Alistair Frozenberg, captain. We managed to catch up with them after the game. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Ja, definitief. Het rugby geseëvier. Maar ek wil eerstens die Here dankie sê vir hierdie geleentheid waar ons beide klappe bymekaar gekom het en goeie rugby gespeel het. Aan die einde van die dag het ons span nie ons punte aangeteken waar ons moes aangeteken het, maar ek wil nou nie oorsê wat ons 3 weke baie geleed het, maar dit kon ook dan is spyker in die wiel gegooi het, maar ek is baie trots op die manne nog altyd, maar die derby bly 'n derby.
Totally agree with you. As you could see here today, it was the weekend of the top 6. It was basically a derby, like they say. We basically played the same type of rugby, 50-man rugby, and at the end of the day, you could see how difficult it was, especially with the crowd that they had. They did play a part as well in the game, but for me, at the end of the day, we did lose basically on our own mistakes. So the goal is still to end in the top 2, regardless of the result of here today. So we still have a few 5-6 games left. This is besides the knockouts. Yes, it's not in our hands, but we will just continue playing our game, taking it one game at a time. And if there are possibilities there to still have that home semi-final, definitely go for it.
Ja, beslis. Rugby het geseëvier. Ek dink die skare wat vandag opgedaag het, ek dink hulle kan tevrede wegstap. Rugby het regtig wel geseëvier. Beide kante, beide spanne het baie goed gedoen. So ek is bly vir die wen aan die einde van die dag, want dit was 50-50 regdeur gewees. Rustyd 15-15 en vir ons om aan die einde so goed te eindig was goed. Ja, definitief. Ek dink ons het onsself reg aan die begin van die seisoen 'n doel gestel. Ek dink ons is op pad om die doel te bereik. Ons het nog 2 wedstryde oor en ek dink die ouens het almal hulle hande opgesteek. Hulle het vandag gewys as ware karakter en om so te wen, ek bedoel Belhar nooit te opgegooi nie en ons moes ons keer ken die laaste 5-8 minute. Was hulle op die aanval en die ouens se verdediging was fantasties en dis wat jou wedstryde wen. So dis ware karakter toon.
Ja, jy sien as 'n mens sulke tipe games speel, dit bring altyd die beste uit jou uit. En vandag het die beste uit al 2 spanne uitgekom. Ek dink al 2 spanne het hulle geleenthede gebruik en die een wat maar die meeste syne gebruik het aan die ander kant uitgekom en ek dink sulke tipe games toets jy jou karakter en karakter het vir ons gedra die game. Alle kant ook maar op die einde van die dag het die bal na ons toe geval en punte is daar vir ons. Ja, ek dink ons mense het al weke voordeel uitgesien na die game en om sulke klomp mense te sien langs 'n veld, jy kan nie jou eie mense disappoint nie. En ons mense het lank gewag vir die tipe wen en ons het die wen gekry teen Belhar.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, Jerome, let's go to you. Just listening there to Regan and Tando and Peter Links, of course, hands and hearts. We've had him on a couple of times. Alistair Frasenberg, captain there as well. All coaches and captains, singular message. Playing the best they can, happy with the results, talking technical, a couple of mistakes here and there, but all in all very positive.
Yeah, very positive, and it's also glad to hear how they complement each other on the type of rugby that they play. I mean, Tando said that they know that they and Hands and Hearts play the same type of rugby, which is good. And the coaches are also very humble in saying that it could have gone anyway.
Yeah.
Any team could have won on the day. So that's good. That's the spirit of rugby. And I mean, they walk away there. There's no issues, and that's great.
Faisal, anything from your side?
Nothing from my side.
Nothing
I'm
really,
just happy.
You're
I think
happy?
it was. I think at the end of the day, it's a good result
Yeah,
for rugby.
yeah.
That's it.
Right, well, that's good enough for us. Folks, right, so coming up now, All Saints in Helderberg. We're going to take a look at the match there. Of course, there's Super League B as well, and then we'll go jumping to Super League A, where we'll take a look at the highlights between Brackenfell and UWC, and then we'll bring you some of the logs results from Super League A's and B. Don't go way back in a sec. Right, welcome back everybody. Nice to have you on. It's Cape Rugby TV here on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263 every Wednesday morning, at least Wednesday evening from 9 to 10, and then of course Saturday morning from 9 to 10 as well. Right, we went, or at least we got in more matches for you to take a look at, and it's great that the clubs are sending them in to us. Super League B at least continues. All Saints was up against Helderberg. Let's take a look at the first and second halves, and then of course we'll take a look at the match between Brackenfell and UWC. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. All right, welcome back, folks. Okay, so big thanks, of course, again Fernando Favius sending us some fantastic footage there. Of course, All Saints and Helderberg. All Saints then going well, a little bit behind, 12 points to 3 in the first half. Jerome, end result going in favour of Helderberg, 29 points to 10. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was pretty even. The first half was again pretty even, but then the second half you could see that Helderberg, with their experience, just pick up and build up and score some good tries there at the end there. But I think the way Helderberg was playing this whole season, nothing against All Saints, it was going to be a tough one for them.
Yeah. Well, All Saints and Helderberg, Faisal, they look like they're going to be, they pretty much look like they've, would you say, guaranteed their top spot in the top 6?
No, definitely. I think they're definitely the contenders there for the top 6. Mind you, there's still a few games, still to come. There's a lot of guys that still, fighting for survival, and then, a lot of guys also fighting for their top 6 position.
So we're not there yet. Folks, let's quickly take a look at the logs then in Super League B, and you'll see that Helderberg is still at the top of the pile, followed by Hands and Hearts, St. George's, All Saints, Belhar and Belleville. Your results then that came in over the weekend. Primrose went down to Belleville, 30 points to 22 last week. Hands and Hearts went, of course, 22-18 over Belhar. Vineyards 27-12 over Scottsdene. All Saints went down to Helderberg, as you saw, and Langa beating Franschhoek 19 points to 15, while St. George's beat Collegians 39 points to 26. Jerome, you look like you want to say something.
No, I think after last week or the previous week, Belleville losing at Belleville, that was a good result for them.
Yeah. So we had some fantastic results there, some big games, of course, Super League B then coming down to the wire. Folks, Tinus van Rensburg at Brackenfell Rugby Club sent their footage into us. They had a big match over the weekend against UWC. Let's take a look at the highlights. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Some fantastic rugby there, great rugby there in Super League A, UWC Brackenfell. Jerome, UWC will be happy with that result. They've had a tough time in the Varsity Cup. They had a tough time at USA. For them to walk away with a win in Super League A in Western Province Club Rugby is a big move.
And against Brackenfell.
Yeah,
so that's a good result. And I mean, it looks like if you watch the game, Brackenfell was doing all the play, and looks like UWs was just hanging. And when the time is for them to get their points, they get their points. So yeah, well done to them.
Yeah, Faisal, you'll also be happy with that result. Maybe throws the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit in Super League A.
Definitely, JP. I think there's no sort of certain positions and stuff, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and that there are a number of weeks that's left. Anything can happen. I think this year alone, that Super League A, has been so unpredictable. So I think for us, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, UWC sitting 9th on the log, but they've still got, I think, 3 games in hand.
JP, this last couple of weeks, I think we'll see a bit later as well. There's been a lot of upsets. There's never been any certainty, so that's fantastic.
Folks, of course, if you've been watching Cape Rugby TV, you'll know that MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy is on board with Cape Rugby TV. Of course, also the official partner to pharmacy to the DHL Stormers and the Western Province Rugby Currie Cup sides. And of course, just down the road from the High Performance Centre in Bellville, well, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy is your first try pharmacy. If you're not sure, that's where you go. And give them a shot, give them a try for anything that you might need. And as I've explained before, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, always open. It's 24/7, free parking, very convenient, right on the N1 in Durban Road, on the corner there. In fact, you can see behind me what the store looked like. So when you're driving down the N1, it's easy to find, it's easy to see, and it's right there close by for you to park. And they've got everything that you need, from a travel clinic to the sports nutrition supplement section, to the orthopedic section, to the dispensary. So there really is, and of course the coffee shop upstairs. Don't forget there's an ATM. But they are your go-to store with fantastic service. So when you walk in the door there's always somebody immediately who comes to you and says, how can I help? And I think that was also the thing that we noticed so much during the COVID time, was the availability, the sense of comfort that MChem gave everybody, that they were always there for you. And not to mention the fact, folks, that during a recent load shedding, of course, MChem just carried on. They were just available all the time. So if you're never sure about anything, give MChem a try first. They're always there for you. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. You're watching Cape Rugby TV here on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263. In studio with me, Mr. Jerome Parvater. Nice to have you back, Jerome.
Yeah, it's good to be back, JP, and good to talk about the clubs.
And Mr. Faisal Felton, looking fantastic in your DHL Western Province rugby kit.
Thank you, JP. Always good to be back.
See, folks, this is the secret to making sure the talent come back to the show. Give them lots of compliments and you keep them coming back. In a second or so, we're going to take a look at the highlights between UCT and Durbell and False Bay and Hamilton's. But let me just remind you that during the course, after that, we're going to give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score. We'll take a look at the competition that we're running on Facebook at the moment, where you spot the ball. Every week we put out a picture, we make a change to the ball, we hide the ball, and give you an opportunity to win yourself that case of Score. As you can see, of course, all the Score rugby jerseys behind me there now. Let's go now to the match this weekend. Big match between these two big clubs. The universities are back. Durbell are, of course, Faisal, am I right? Still, they are the reigning champions.
Yes, last competition, Durbell still the champions.
2019 was when they won the league last. So they, in essence, still the title holders.
Definitely. I think, with that win as well, I think, that top 6, basically there was no uncertainty. Again, the teams ending in their top 6, anybody has an opportunity and a chance to win the league. And looking at the results this year, JP, I wouldn't be surprised if, we have some sort of unexpected new champion.
Ooh, that's big talk, folks. That's big talk. Let's take a look now. Highlights UCT Durbell. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Jerome, cracker of a game, typical of two big clubs that have got a lot of experience. 5-3 win for UCT over Durbell. And would you say that that's sort of maybe a fair reflection of two top teams in Superliga?
You can say that, JP, but I don't know. It's the first time that I see like a game like there's a halftime score. We don't get it at 0-0, and then the first points are in the 74th minute.
Yeah.
So
In fact, folks, if you didn't see that, what Jerome is referring to is that the halftime score between the two teams was 0-0.
Yeah. So then I mean, it's great defense. Or it's poor attack.
Yeah, folks, just a big thanks to both clubs, in fact, that sent their footage in. Of course, Warren Peterson from Durbell and Tom Dawson-Squibb from UCT. Yeah. So we got plenty of action for you to look at. Let's go now to the match between False Bay and Hamilton's. Another big game this weekend. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Welcome back then. Big matches, folks, this weekend. That was, of course, in Superliga. Jerome, False Bay leading 24-5 in the first half. And then, of course, maintaining that dominance going into the second half.
Yeah, it seems like False Bay's forwards were just bullying Hamilton's forwards, and they were all over them. And then obviously, then it creates, on a muddy field like that, then it creates lots of holes on defense. So then their backs can run, but their forwards were pretty much in control that whole first half.
All right, let's see if you guys are in control of the Spot the Ball competition. Folks, as you know, every week we put the picture out for you on Facebook, and we ask you to see if you can spot the ball, where we take the ball and make one or two small changes. Your options are A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Jerome, would you like to give it a shot? Yeah, you can see on the front monitor over there. It makes it easier for you to see. I'm gonna go there. because of this. I'm going to go with B2. I'll go first this week, guys. I'll go B2. Faisal, would you like to give it a go?
I think it's always never where you think it is.
Yes.
I was also going to go with B2, but because you've got B2, I'll go with...
You can go in the same one as me.
No, I never want to... I always want to be different, so I think I'll go with A3.
You're going to go with A3?
A3.
Faisal Felden chooses A3. Jerome Paarwater. Jerome?
I will go
No pressure.
B3.
B3. Jerome's going B3. I'm going... What did I say?
right.
B2. And Faisal, you're going with A3. Right, folks, let's take a look then. Where is the ball?
A3.
The ball is in A3. Congratulations, Faisal.
What do I win?
You win. Jerome, can you please sort out this week's prizes? In fact, I'm sure we can organize you an energy drink courtesy of Score to make sure that you keep looking after Score. Score is, of course, your official partner to the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens.
Yes.
So we know that you guys have got a fantastic relationship there. Yeah. Are we heading in that? We'll talk about that maybe in the next few weeks. We'll talk a little bit about Sevens. But then congratulations this week to Arend van Rooyen. Arend, you walk away with the case of Score. We'll touch base with you on Facebook Messenger. Folks, don't go away. After the break, we're going to take a look at the results, the logs, and the fixtures and have a comprehensive conversation about where we stand and what's coming up this weekend. Back in a sec. Don't go away. Right, folks, welcome back. Listening to conversations here from my two colleagues, Mr. Paarwater and Mr. Felton. Right, folks, let's take a look then at the results that came in this weekend. Super League A, we'll start off there. As you saw, of course, UCT beating Durbell 5 points to 3. Unimil went down to Tygerberg 20 points to 16. SK Warmers went down to Marties 54-7. False Bay beating Hamiltons. Brackenfell went, of course, down to UWC. And SK Warmers with a win over NTK. 21 points to 14. Jerome, that Tygerberg Unimil result, big result for Tygerberg. They'll be happy with that.
Yeah, well done to them. Unimil, it's not easy, so great win for them.
And Faisal, SK Women's will be happy that they've got some points on the boards here as well. You were talking about making sure that one is in that safe space on the log.
No, definitely. I think if you look at the result, I think it's a matter of, SK Women's are looking at games that they feel that they need to win, that they should win. And, it's always difficult when you're playing, on a Wednesday night and then, playing on a Saturday. So it's always a matter of, in terms of, which games you're going to focus on and which games, I wouldn't say you're not going to focus on, but which games you're going to try and get the maximum points on. Yeah.
Well, if we look at that result for Tygerberg this weekend over Unimil, that was an important result, Jerome. Tygerberg sitting at 7 on the log at the moment. On 27 points. They've still got a few games in hand. We know Marties is still pushing. But that means that Tygerberg, even a club like Villages, could still be challenging for that 6th spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they have to play, but obviously they will target every game that they have now to get points. They can't afford not to get points.
Yeah, right. So let's take a look at Jerome. These are your fixtures. You're asking who's coming up this weekend. Villages are up against Unimil. As we said, they are challenging at the moment. And then, of course, if we look there, matches you were talking about, SK Women's Tygerberg. That's going to be a very important game for both sides. Tygerberg looking to squeeze into the top 6. SK Women's making sure that they stay out of the bottom 13. Or that position.
Yeah, they also fighting for survival, and Tygerberg fighting to get higher up.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. And Villages, Unimil is going to be a tough one, Faisal, because Unimil is playing good rugby and Villages trying to get up there.
Yeah.
So, I think Jape, the one interesting you're looking at that log is that although the results or the log points, there's a difference, there's still outstanding games. And I was looking at it, and if you look at, games still in hand, and if you look at that top 5 and top 6, it's probably going to be like, 4 or 5 points difference amongst all of them. Yeah. And like, Jerome says this weekend, it's a Unimil against Villages. I think it can go either way.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic stuff this weekend. So let's take a look at the fixtures then coming up this weekend. Villages up against Unimil, NTK take on UCT, Durbell and UWC, Marties and Brackenfell, UCT and Kales River, Tygerberg and SK Warmers, and Marties are taking on the mighty Hamlets. Good luck at catching Hamlets on the field. It's going to be a cracker of a game. Running rugby coming from Hamlets. Folks, let's take a look now at the Results from Super League B. Bellville 32, at least 30-22 over Primrose. Hands and Hearts with a win over Belhar. Vineyards with a win over Scottsdene. Helderberg 29-10 over All Saints. It was a win for Lunga over Franschhoek and St. George's. Well, they hosted Collegians and 39-26 result there for St. George's. Jerome, we spoke about that game last week, that was going to be a big game. Collegians had just come off a win. They were travelling to St. George's. St. George's, of course, were looking to make sure that they stayed in the top part of the pile, but eventually go in favour of St. George's.
Yeah, I think Collegians just a bit bad luck there. I think what Collegians must do, I know they always start the game well and on fire, but if they can get the mix right by playing better that last 15 minutes of the game also, then they can beat a few teams.
Well, let's quickly take a look at the log, folks, in Super League B to give you an idea of what we're talking about and just to see how close it is. And you'll see here that Belhar and, in fact, Collegians have got still a number of games in hand. So things very close. We look at the log. Helderberg are in first place. They've played 12 games, as has Hands and Hearts, St. George's, All Saints. Belhar on 10 games. Bellville are sitting on 37 points. They've played 12 games. And so if you look there, for example, Collegians played 9 games, they're on 22. And if you look there, folks, at the 6 positions, the teams that are challenging for position 6, if you look there from Belhar, who's on 37, Bellville's on 37, Lunga on 27, Young People's on 26. If we're looking at the bottom 6 there, Jerome, Belhar, Bellville, Lunga, Young People's, Collegians, who have got 9 games in hand, these teams are all still in the framework.
I don't know. If you look at that top six, Japes, looking at the maths and that, I think that top 6 is pretty much cemented in terms of those 6 teams. The other teams looking at wins, might just take them in contention 2 points difference in that. But I mean, anything is possible. But
Am I reading it wrong?
There's 2 games in hand.
I'm happy to be corrected.
I think if you look at it, they played 12 games with 2 games left, and if you're looking at your teams in position 7 and 8, if they win the next 2 games, they're going to end with bonus points on 37, which basically takes them out of contention. Possibility of Collegians still sneaking through. Maybe.
I mean, if Collegians get 5 points out of each game, that could put them on 37 points.
100%, because I think Collegians have got outstanding games against some of the top teams.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a winner on the day for those games. But looking at the other guys below that, the Lungas, the Young Peoples and stuff, I think they're sort of out of contention.
Out of the picture there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm glad you guys pushed me there into the right way, into the right picture, because I think this is the thing, is you've got to spend a bit of time looking at the log and work it all out. So great to have a fresh set of eyeballs on the picture there. So Collegians, there's the focus over the next 3 weeks. You need to get 5 points out of every game and then hope for bonus points. Did I sum that one up right?
Yes,
I got that one.
That's correct.
All right, but of course the other challenge is first and second place for the leagues.
No, yeah, definitely. I think where you want to be is in position 1 and 2. People will say, "Are you playing for promotion? You're playing for thing," but ultimately, if you look at the competition, teams in position 1 and 2 have an added advantage. In other words, you're automatically in the semi-final, and then secondly, if you lose that game, you still have another opportunity because you then play against position number 13 in the higher, in the next level.
Well, let's take a look at the fixtures then. Talking about games then this weekend, this must-win games. Franschhoek up against Hands and Hearts, Busy Bees and Scottsdene. There's your match this weekend, Jerome. That will be your first decider. Collegians needing 5 points against Belhar if they want to get in the top 6. Primrose and Goodwood, Young Peoples and Helderberg. Those are going to be tough matches.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not like if you look at if you get to the logs and you get to the fixtures. Then it's not easy.
Let's take a look at the results in Super League C this past weekend. So, of course, Blue Stars with a win over Strand United. Kylemore beating Blue Jets. Elsies went down to Eersterivier. Morningstar with a win over Wraithby. Macassar beating Albions 39 points to 18. And the CPUT with a win over Rangers. This puts, of course, the log positions for you in Super League C, with Strand still on the top of the pile, followed by Kylemore, Macassar, CPUT, Kraaifontein, and Morningstar. Right, folks, of course, also this past weekend, fixtures, or at least coming up then this weekend, Strand United against Blue Jets, Rangers and Peniel Villages, Strand and Blue Stars, Wraithby, Eerste Rivier, Elsies Rivier, and CPUT. As you know, of course, at the same time, we've got the Promotion League this past weekend, and some very interesting games there, because phase of the Promotion League is, of course, the best 3 from each of the Southern, City, and Northern leagues.
No, that's correct. I think, again, like we said last week, is, everything is unpredictable. You're not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think if you're looking at the results and stuff, you can see, it's a tough section.
Let's take a look then at the results in the Promotion League. Blake's beating Northerns 22-12. Solarians went down to Masiphumelele 10 points to 8. Lagunia 17 all draw with Atlantis, and Van der Stel showing their strength 43 points to 20. So some big results there. Van der Stel, of course, then leading the Promotion League, followed by Blake's, Hamadia's, Masiphumelele Violets. Folks, of course, also then coming up this weekend in the Promotion League, some big matches. These are, of course, still to see who's going to shift up and down on the log in the Promotion League. Violets and Blake's, Atlantis, Hamadia's, Solarians and Northerns. And Van der Stel up against Masiphumelele. Let's go, folks. Of course, the Western Province Club Rugby Women's League is back. The Women's League fixtures results this past weekend. Kuilsriver 20-0 over Eerste Rivier. Marties with a close shave, 12-5 over False Bay. And then Tygerberg beating Busy Bees, 17 points to 15. And this means that the Women's League log, of course, puts Tygerberg at the top of the pile, followed by False Bay, Blue Jets, and Brackenfell. Fixtures for the Women's League then this weekend is Blue Jets up against Kuilsriver, Brackenfell take on Eerste Rivier, Marties and Blue Jets, CPUT, Busy Bees, Tygerberg and Brackenfell. Folks, let's quickly take a look at the results from the Paarl region. There were some good results this past weekend with Young Standards with a win, 26-19 over Lower Paarl. Faisal, that's quite a big result.
No, definitely. I think, the Paarl region is very tough. It's very evenly matched in that there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And Young Gardens also doing well, 22-20 over Simondium. Let's take a look at the log. Paarl Rangers, well, there you see the change already. Young Standards coming up on the log, 43 points. They're sitting in second place now. That's a big move in the Paarl region, whereas we've seen Paarl Rangers and Lower Paarl dominating. Young Gardens also climbing. So some interesting moves there in the log in the Paarl region. Coming up this weekend is Riverstones up against Violets Paarl, Lower Paarl take on Peril United, Young Gardens and Paarl Rangers, Simondium and Young Standards. Right, folks, next week I'm going to tell you more about the golf day that is being hosted by Young Gardens Golf Club. This is their annual golf day. They're doing fundraising, and it's always a fantastic opportunity to enter a 4-ball to play in the golf day. Jerome, you've played in the golf day a few times?
Yep, I've played a few times, yes.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
You also?
Yes, I remember. We've in fact.
When last did you play?
No, I played many years ago.
So you're looking
So
for
your
I think it was
handicap
maybe
is
the
back to golf.
Jerome, it's been great having you on the show today.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. Nice to be here.
Yeah.
And we're going to see some good rugby this weekend, JP. Exciting games coming up.
Yeah, Faisal, also fantastic to have you here. Looking forward to having you back next week.
Oh, is that an offer to be back next week?
It's a guarantee.
Guarantee. Yes, no, definitely. Always good to be back, and
Yeah.
always good to catch up.
Yeah.
Thanks, James.
No, fantastic stuff. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.